Zinedine Zidane's Real Madrid are now flying on all cylinders, currently on a 19-match unbeaten streak that's propelled them toward the top of La Liga and UEFA Champions League semi-finals. After a massive 2-1 win over Barcelona in the El Clasico weekends ago and the side securing the place in the UEFA Champions League semis, the sides could be on the path towards a victory in either competition. As a result, we now take a look at the tactics Zinedine Zidane has deployed throughout the 2020-21 season at Real Madrid. But also, if you have a spare moment, please could you check out my Patreon site. It helps me create videos like this, so I would appreciate any support. But of course, if you can't, just sit back, relax and enjoy this video. I'm proud to announce that the RDF Tactics YouTube channel has teamed up with OneFootball. It's a great footballing app. If you haven't tried it out before, then make sure you do. It's free, so why not? You have nothing to lose and the link is in the description below. My personal favourite thing about the app is receiving the latest news, transfer rumours, tracking live scores, but also and of course getting match stats so I can make videos just like this one. There's a video section as well. It's a pretty cool app where you can watch football highlights, historic moments and even post or pre-match conferences. I'm currently using the app to receive news on my favourite team as you have the option to do so. It's a really good app to get your daily football updates and football news. So give it a go. It's completely free and I promise you, you won't look back, and remember, the link is in the description below. Zinedine Zidane has stuck relatively true to the exact same 11 that won him the 2019-20 La Liga title last season. A few injuries to the likes of Sergio Ramos have forced them out of the side and allowed other players to come in, but Zidane has stuck to a very consistent set of 15 or so players throughout the season. He's also stuck by his trusted 4-3-3 formation, which he has used throughout his career at Real Madrid, but has experimented many times this season with various different shapes. The biggest surprise of all is probably that Zidane has continued with a midfield three with an average age of 32. 29-year-old Casemiro remains the best and most consistent of the three as he was last season, but it's remarkable how well Luka Modric and Toni Kroos have carried on into their 30s now. With Kroos and Modric no longer having the legs to be box-to-box playmakers, Casemiro often adopts the highest position of the midfield three. Simultaneously, when Madrid are defending, he reverts back into the lowest of the three. This tactical innovation from Zidane is quite unorthodox, but it's helped Casemiro contribute with 7 goal involvements in La Liga this season, including the second highest tally of goals in the side, with 6. Uruguayan midfielder Federico Valverde also looks positive when he's been given a role in the team, and should be a natural replacement for Luka Modric in the future. Zidane has remained flexible with Valverde, playing him at the top of a midfield diamond, on the right of a midfield 4 and even recently at right back due to the injury to Lucas Vazquez. Lucas Vazquez and Ferland Mendy have been excellent as the two fullbacks this season, with Dani Carvajal still recovering from long-term injury. Vazquez in particular has been remarkably effective as a Jesus Navas styled right wing back, who's not actually a right wing back or a right back. The 29-year-old has assisted 5 goals this season and created nearly 2 chances per game for his team. Only Toni Kroos has created more in this team. Courtois has also had a decent season in goal, playing every single La Liga and UEFA Champions League match so far this campaign. In attack, Real Madrid don't quite have the same firepower of Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale, but they still have their long-term striker Karim Benzema, who remains one of La Liga's best. Benzema's netted 21 goals and assisted 8 in 30 La Liga matches this campaign, in addition to burying 6 in 9 in the UEFA Champions League. Vinicius Jr. also shows moments of brilliance this season and has come particularly strong in the past few months. The 20-year-old Brazilian has scored 6 goals with 4 assists this season between his Champions League and La Liga games, showing much promise for the future. Marco Asensio also established himself as the club's first choice right winger this season, also contributing to 6 goals between the Champions League and La Liga games this term. Those are the key players within the system. Now let's get into more on how Zidane has achieved so much success in recent months. Real Madrid are a possession-based team that look to play out from the back and remain relatively patient with the ball. Only Seville and Barcelona have accumulated higher possession statistics in La Liga this season. When Sergio Ramos is in the team, he is the key man in possession and often the first one that the keeper looks to play the ball to. Toni Kroos and Luka Modric are also outstanding orchestrators of the team's tempo and occupy much of the opposition's doubts when they attempt to stop Los Blancos playing out from the back. When Nacho or Militao are in the team, Real Madrid are far less likely to play out from the back through their centre-backs and may instead look to the fullbacks and midfielders more regularly. Of the two fullbacks, Lucas Vazquez is more likely to be used in the build-up and will often play vertical passes in central midfield before galloping up the field. Of the three central midfielders, Toni Kroos is the regista. The German midfielder will often steal a left-back styled position from Mendy to get on the ball and combine with Sergio Ramos as they work the ball around and find the best option. Relative to what is expected of a team so comfortable in possession, Madrid also complete a high number of longer passes. Ramos, Kroos, Casemiro and Modric are among those comfortable going long from deep, and they will often use this approach late on in matches to thrust the ball forward early on. Real Madrid also utilise the wide areas in their build-up to a significant degree, and higher up the pitch they look to deliver crosses from the likes of Vazquez, Kroos and Asensio in particular. Mendy is far less likely to join the attack and deliver crosses than Vazquez, but does enjoy the occasional 1v1 battle when in possession. Kroos instead is the one most frequently delivering crosses from the left, or switching play to the right where Vazquez and Asensio look to deliver. Real Madrid also frequently uses switches from right to left through Vazquez, Casemiro and Modric. The switches allow Mendy a role higher up the pitch and engage in a 2 versus 1 situation up against the opposition's fullback. This occurred several times over the course of the two legs against Liverpool, with Los Blancos particularly effective in this approach in the 3-1 home win. As an extension to the discussion surrounding Zidane's build-up, Karim Benzema will often feature as a false 9 or a deep lying forward. He sometimes drops deep to pick up the ball, particularly on the left where Kroos vacates space to adopt a lower position on the field. Although the Frenchman can be a target man, fox in the box, and is an overall heroic goal scoring figure for Los Blancos, he's also underratedly good in possession and has grown in his intelligence off the ball under Zidane. But this positional fluidity can also be detrimental to Real Madrid at times, given that Asensio is not the fastest runner of the ball and Vinicius lacks some experience in understanding how to best play off the Frenchman and support him. Vinicius, Asensio and Rodrigo are not the type to head the ball into the back of the net, and so Vazquez's attempts to cross from the right wing are often mitigated if the opposing defence can get a strong enough read on Benzema's movements. They have other goal threats from set pieces and in Toni Kroos, one of the best deliverers, but the likes of Casemiro and Ramos may be unable to get into the box and end off quick crosses enough unless the game is in dire moments. The role of the wingers is also first and foremost to create for Benzema or to allow those more talented than them to get on the ball. As a result, they will often play passes back towards Kroos and Modric, rather than taking players on or finding room for a shot. Benzema contributes to 3.9 of the team's 14.2 shots per game, with Vinicius and Asensio sitting at just 1 shot per game. As a result, it's no surprise that the two wing wizards have just 6 goals each. To put that into an even greater perspective, Modric, Kroos, Casemiro and Sergio Ramos have all attempted a higher number of shots per game in La Liga, although they have all accumulated more minutes. Nonetheless, when looking at the shots per 90, Benzema's tally rises to 4.0 and Vinicius and Asensio are still stuck at just 1.7. For a team that is challenging for the League and Champions League title, you would simply expect more from the wingers in that regard. Instead, their reliance on Benzema remains a bit of a problem and one that could stifle their chances in winning a trophy this season. Real Madrid primarily defend in a 4-5-1 shape, becoming more comfortable in their pressing tactics over the course of the season. At the start of the season, they were leaving far too much space in central areas. Recently, they have been more compact and have done a better job in both transition and forcing their opponents into wider areas. One potential reason for that has been the intriguing positional and formational change to an unorthodox 4-4-2 shape out of possession. The shape sees Kroos or Modric join Karim Benzema as the first line of pressure as the wingers tuck in and track the fullbacks. It may seem strange to push Kroos or Modric up in that regard, and to be fair, it is. But a 4-4-2 has many defensive routes in providing 2 banks of 4 and very little space in between the lines. For Real Madrid, it means that a lone striker does not have to press all alone, and that the wingers can sit deeper and combat attack-minded fullbacks such as the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson. The central midfielder that joins Karim Benzema may be dependent on the side of the ball from the start of the move, but doesn't often change once they settle into this structure. In this shape, Kroos and Modric need to have an understanding of which one of them is to go and which of one of them is to stay. If they don't do this diligently enough with the right level of communication, the team could easily be exposed in transition. Luckily, Real Madrid have been very steady in defence this season, conceding just 24 goals in 34 matches this season in La Liga. In Ramos and Varane they have 2 of the league's most experienced defenders, and in Casemiro they have one of the best ball winners in the world. The Brazilian has won 2.7 tackles and has made 2.3 interceptions per game in the league, the 4th and 2nd most in the league. Lucas Vazquez also stands out as one of the team's top tacklers with 2.5 tackles per game, 9th best in the league. Finally, Real Madrid's defensive solidity also extends to the backups. Federico Valverde's never looked out of place when given a chance and leads Los Blancos in interceptions as far as the Champions League fixtures go. Nacho and Militao have also put in excellent defensive performances in the place of Ramos and Varane and have been more active at the back, completing the 2nd and 3rd most interceptions per game in the team. So to conclude, Real Madrid had a rough start to the season, but now they are back on track to challenge for both the La Liga title and the Champions League. Zidane has found approaches to cope with his aging midfield unit, including pushing Casemiro further forward in attack. With Benzema operating as the goal-scoring false 9 and still at the top of his game, the French manager still has one of the deadliest goal scorers in the league, and that can help to propel the team to the very top once again. That wraps up this tactical analysis written by the Mastermind site. We are now going to go into Football Manager to check out the replication, check out the results, see how well we did, and then finally we will close this video. So let's head over to Football Manager. So here we are, RDF Zinedine Zidane's 4-3-3 Real Madrid. We're going to go through the player roles, the team instructions, then we're going to look at the results, the training, and then we're going to close the video. So in goal we do have the sweeper keeper on the defend duty. There are no instructions there. If there are any instructions on the screen, you can just copy them if you don't plan to download the tactic. So for the left back, the Ferland Mendy role, we are using the fullback on the support duty. For the right back will be the fullback on the attack duty. Now that could be Dani Carvajal. It was actually Eder Militao, and he is very good at right back. Not the best crosser of the ball, but on Football Manager you can kind of live with that. In central defence we do have one central defender and we do have one ball playing defender. If I'm going to critique myself here, I think the ball playing defender should be on the left hand side if Sergio Ramos does end up playing on the left side. In defensive midfield, we do have a defensive midfielder on the support duty. Why? Because Casemiro likes to get further forward. He likes to be support for Karim Benzema. So I gave him a supportive duty so I can also add get further forward. In central midfield, we have a deep lying playmaker. On the left would be Toni Kroos. And on the right, we have gone with a Mezzala on the support duty. Now, this is kind of an energetic role, again, against what Luka Modric can actually do. But also, we do want that 4-4-2 shape when we are defending and a Mezzala likes to press or defend slightly higher up the pitch. So that's one reason why I went for a Mezzala. And a Mezzala can be a creative type player. So I've given him take more risk, as you can see. And the Mezzala on the support would be where Modric is playing. On the flanks, I have gone with 2 inverted wingers, but they are slightly different. The one on the left would be taking more risks and the one on the right would be crossing more often, the Marco Asensio role, roaming from his position and sitting more narrow as well. Up top, finally, we have a complete forward on the attack duty, not quite the false 9 because we want a goal scoring version of a false 9, so I went with a complete forward on the attack duty and also asking him to shoot more often. For the team instructions, we are using a positive mentality. The attacking width is set to fairly wide. For the approach play, we are focusing down both flanks. If you do not like this instruction, you can simply remove it. And we are playing out from the defence. And one reason why I'm focusing down the flanks is to try and get some overloads on the flank as well. So if we do end up switching the ball from one flank to the other, I do want the left back and the left winger to be fairly close to each other to try and create an overload, a 2 versus 1 situation basically on each flank. For the passing directness, we are using shorter passing directness, and for the tempo, we are using a higher tempo. If you do end up losing the ball too often, which it did happen for me, I did reduce the tempo back to standard, and that would give you a more patient build up as well. In the final third, we are using mixed crosses. For the dribbling, we are running at the defence and we are being more expressive. When possession has been lost, we are going to regroup into more of a 4-5-1 formation, and when the possession has been won, we are then going to make our counter movement. When the goalkeeper is in possession, the only instruction he has is to take short kicks. Finally, for out of possession, we are using a higher defence line with a standard line of engagement. The defensive width is set to narrow, so we are forcing the opposition outside. We are using a tighter marking system. The pressing intensity is set to more urgent, and we are going to be getting stuck in. That there is the tactic. We are now going to look at the results, then the training schedules before ending the video. So for the results and a disclaimer, this is actually a holiday season. I did play a season myself, I did win the league, but I didn't win the Champions League, and I didn't win any other cup apart from the La Liga. But throughout that season, I was tweaking, trying to get the tactic right. Once I felt I got it right, I then tried to test it on a holiday mode, and this is the results that you are looking at right now. So in the La Liga, we played 38, well, the assistant manager played 38. They won 30 games, they drew 7 and only lost 1 game. That's quite remarkable, with a goal difference on 71 and a points tally on 97. Karim Benzema was the top goal scorer in the La Liga for Real Madrid. Toni Kroos had the highest average rating and the most assists. In the Champions League, Real Madrid were victorious. God knows how many times they have won it now in the past decade, but in 2021 on this game, they have won the Champions League once again. Karim Benzema being a top goal scorer for Real Madrid in that competition again as well. In the Copa del Rey, we did get knocked out by Almeria, but we did win the Supercopa de España, beating Barcelona 3-2 in that game. So for the La Liga, for the team overall, we scored the most goals, 88. We had the highest points per game. We took the most shots as well, with the fewest shots against us, and had the best pass completion ratio in the league. For the average possession, we have 52% of the ball, which is not bad. Most tackles won, we're not in that list. For the dribbles made, we came third with 115. Most clean sheets, Real Madrid with 23, and the fewest conceded, Real Madrid again with just 17 goals conceded. For the player overall, most goals, Karim Benzema came in 4th with 18. For the best pass completion, Rafael Varane with 97%. For the most clean sheets, Courtois with 23 and the fewest conceded. There is Courtois with 17, but Domenech with 14 and he only played 13, which is quite harsh. He's even qualified for this list. That's the players and the team stats. We are now going to go to the team report, look at the attacking efficiency, and we were bang in the middle between wasteful and clinical. Nonetheless, we were aggressive in our attacking approach. Comparing to the general performance in the La Liga, we outperformed the average, of course, because Real Madrid once again are not an average team at all. For the defending efficiency, if we can find that, you can see we were quiet and impenetrable, by far the best defense in La Liga. So for the squad stats, the top goal scorers, Benzema scored 27 goals in 51 games, Eden Hazard scored 20 in 44, Rafael Varane scored 12, Sergio Ramos scored 11 and Valverde scored 10. So we had 5 players in double digits, which is very, very good. Toni Kroos, 22 assists in all competitions, absolutely outrageous. Lucas Modric with 15 assists in all competitions as well. And Sensio came in with 9, Dani Carvajal came in with 8, and Isco came in with 8 also. We are now going to go into training, look at the training schedules used, because I did set up the training schedules throughout the whole season. I did set the template for the assistant manager, and the assistant manager doesn't really change your training schedules throughout the season. So we're now going to look at those schedules. So when there's one match during the week, this is what it looked like. On the Monday, match tactics, possession, team bonding. Tuesday, defending from the front and transition press. Wednesday, attack and wins and match practice. On the Thursday, attack and movement, delivery and defending shadow play. Friday, teamwork. Saturday is the match. Sunday, recovery and match review. On Tuesday, I just noticed a big mistake. I shouldn't have used defending from the front. Maybe we could have used ground defense or aerial defense. I'm just going to go for aerial defense. That is what it really should be. It shouldn't be defending from the front because they don't defend from the front. When there are two matches during the week, on the Monday it's defensive shadow play, attack and movement, team bonding. Tuesday, teamwork, match on the Wednesday. Thursday, recovery and match review. Friday is the teamwork. Saturday, match again. Sunday, recovery and match review again as well. That there wraps up the training schedules and unfortunately wraps up the video. Thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening, and don't forget, if you are new or you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the like, or leave a comment if you have any recommendations. My name is RDF. It has been a pleasure. Thank you to the mastermind as well for the script. I hope I see you guys soon on my channel. Stay safe and see ya.